So that happened. Welcome, everyone. We just got a Pokemon Direct. There is a whole crap ton to unpack here. Pokemon revealed way more than I thought they were. So let's dive right in and talk all about it.
So we opened the Direct with a bit of talking and reminiscing, which is to be expected, but I really expected them to fluff out the Direct more with old footage and beating around the bush. So it's really nice to have them jump right into the really core of the Direct, the reveal trailer. Just like Mario Maker 2. Nice job, Nintendo, for speeding up Directs as a whole and giving us all the info we want efficiently. At least at the start. So from the moment this first scene opens of the trailer, I immediately was a bit disappointed, as the graphics and art style are basically Let's Go. But now that I have watched the trailer a bunch over and over, it may be heavily inspired by Let's Go, but it definitely got a kick in the pants in the graphics department. This is absolutely HD, no more of that question mark HD that we got in Let's Go, with much more in-depth texture, shading, depth, and really the whole package. It's like what they wanted Let's Go to look like, but just ran out of time. Well, and nostalgia is a powerful thing, and they know that they suckered us in as soon as Pikachu jumped through that stupid screen. I don't know how I feel about that hard black line around the player character. They did it on some 3DS titles periodically, but in a full console Pokemon game, it seems a bit obnoxious. There's a chance that this is also earlier in development and they will change or remove it in the future, but this is Pokemon, so typically trailers and stuff are pretty well polished. They know how much we crave and dissect their every move. But other than that line, the world looks absolutely incredible. It definitely still screams Pokemon, but I mean, just look at that opening shot. It's probably not really what you'd see while you're actually playing, but this big sweeping countryside with a panoramic camera, this actually creepy forest, and a true sprawling cityscape. It's like what we always imagined as we played all the previous entries. Now, to be fair, it is nothing revolutionary for gaming. I mean, compare this to Breath of the Wild. But in a Pokemon game, anything that is remotely brought to the modern gaming era in graphics and gameplay makes this the most innovative game of the year, hands down. Probably should have led with this, but I love Pokemon, and there is no way that I can get through this without showing my Poke bias. After those opening shots, we get a bit more gameplay, though again, we don't know how finalized this is. But it just seems like another step forward and not anything crazy innovative. There's even more freedom of movement than in Sun and Moon, which is great, and it seems the world is built less around cardinal directions and top-down movement. But it's not quite what I was hoping for, that being a camera behind the player with independent controls and a huge open world to explore. Random encounters are back. I hate you, Zubat. Ultimately, I'm mixed on this, but I lean towards the side of disappointment. I really enjoyed being able to just nope so many wild Pokemon in Let's Go. It made the journey so much more enjoyable to not feel bogged down by a system that was originally implemented due to hardware limitations. Gah! Complaints aside, we then get this wonderful little detail in Minccino slapping Pikachu right across the face. Based on the way the trailer displays this, I would say that this Pikachu is the one that the girl trainer just encountered. So it's a wild Mon, and she was able to attack it. No more chucking Pokeballs like we're playing darts. Don't know if motion controls will be mandatory or not, but no. Please no. Fighting animations look cool, nothing too crazy or unexpected there. Because of this Munchlax, we might even be able to take Pokemon out of their Pokeballs to walk behind us or even ride on like Let's Go. Come on, rideable Gengar best friend. Next is this weird image on the hillside. Not getting into too much theory here, I think it is depicting some mythological scene with a godlike creature slash Pokemon and normal people beneath it. Obviously, Pokemon love incorporating their own myths and history about how the world is and usually what the antagonist team tries to exploit. But I hope that this is support for the theory that we are really going to dive into the history of Pokemon and people in this game. Similar to AZ and the War in X and Y, but like way more. Okay, moving on. You're now a soccer star. Sorry, it's Europe. Football star. Goal! Or it could be a really cool new design for a gym or the Pokemon League. Then we're immediately hit with probably the most forgettable starters of the entire Pokemon franchise. The Fire Bunny that permanently has a band-aid on its nose, this weird tadpole chameleon thing, and the Parrot Monkey. Like, seriously, what is up with that mouth? I know what they're going for, but it looks like a beak. Also, seriously, this bunny is freaking adorable and I want him now. I personally loved the double typings for starters in Sun and Moon, and I really hope that they keep that for these games. Let's go water normal for the lizard, but he will be able to change his normal typing somehow because he's a chameleon. Fire dragon for the bunny because I want him to be as incredible as can be, and hey, we have this magnificent creature. And finally, the monkey will be grass flying because it will actually evolve into a parrot monkey and true perfection will be achieved. Then after that, boom, logos. Was kind of disappointed that the king and queen names were wrong, but ho boy, do these logos open up so much. But more on that later. Basically, the rest of the presentation was overly ecstatic, important Pokemon people, confirming that these are the core RPGs on Switch. Masada definitely drove the point home that these entries are not a reboot or revolutionary, but rather evolutionary. If that wasn't obvious from the previous trailer, kind of disappointed on this point, but it's completely expected, and I would have been shocked if they honestly would have done anything else. Next, we heard from the director of the game, and I was actually extremely surprised that he showed the map of the game and the region name. Welcome to Galar. So far, they are doing great with new content in this direct, but still saving plenty back to hype us more for what we didn't get. I will save the analysis of this image for the professionals, but with the verticality of the map, the industrialization with the brick towers, soccer matches, and the sprawling countryside, I would bet all of my Pokédollars that this region is based on the UK. Also, there is a train. I hope we can ride it. I am so excited. Maybe I can finally get my dream train Pokemon. Like, seriously, all you have to do is have a ghost possess this guy. He's from the UK after all. Also on this map, if this is the Pokemon League, oh my gosh, I need it right now. We then just get a replay of the trailer they showed in the beginning of the direct, but they do confirm that your goal as a player is once again to be champion. Considering this highlight and other images from the trailer, I assume that gyms are back too, which is wonderful. Still would have loved if they reboot this series and gave us something in the past with the origins of Pokemon, but oh well. As what may come of a shock to most of you, they actually confirmed that new Pokemon would be in this game. The second half of the presentation definitely lacked the polish and efficiency I hoped for and that we got in the beginning, as the rest was basically everything we have seen before in the previous Pokemon games. Pokemon said they're excited, they're innovating while holding on to the past and making the best Pokemon ever like no one ever was. Oh, and there are other Pokemon things coming this year, but we can't tell you yet. Gosh, I hate it when they do this. Overall, the direct was fantastic. They gave us way more than I thought they would. The game looks wonderful. It exists and is coming this year, and there's a Dragon Fire Bunny. That's going to happen. Though I do think a shorter trailer, including the info on the Galar region and starters, would have been plenty. They didn't need all the extra fluff they added, and then I wouldn't have had to get up at 6 a.m. Who am I kidding? I love this stuff. In terms of what's next, I think we will get another direct before E3, revealing a lot more content. They did a great job to hype this one up without really showing us anything new for Gen 8. Yeah, we got the region and the starters, but there were no new mechanics or anything like that. No new Z moves or Alola forms, the promise of a new compelling story, or triple typings. We didn't even get the legendaries, or legendary as some have suspected for this title. The later direct will introduce 1 or 2 new mechanics, the middle starter evolutions, the legendaries, more diversity to the world and gameplay, give us the release date, and show us the new Team Rocket, though this will be a disappointment because... yeah, that's pretty much gold. We will get one more direct/trailer in the fall, not showing much new stuff besides the final evolutions and a few new Pokemon, but it will still hype us up beyond belief, as also the new anime and TCG seasons kick in around that time. The game will release mid to late November. Until then, all we can do is speculate, and speculate we shall. The biggest questions I have are with the logos and names. I think my personal favorite idea is to get a dual team antagonist like 3rd Gen with Team Magma and Team Aqua. Basically, there would be 2 feudal lords or houses, and they are trying to bring honor to their clan by destroying the other, or by saving the world from that weird god thing in the grass, or most likely actually harnessing the power of the weird god thing to take over the world. These clans have been enemies since ancient times, though they once were allies. They split over their fighting styles and what was most important, offense or defense, sword or shield. They even used to use the same wolf Pokemon, and their drastic differences in fighting styles caused the second stage evolution to completely become a different Pokemon, very similar to Rockruff, except one is all about offense and one is all about defense. Back in the current time, the teams find out that the god or legend in the grass can either become offensive or defensive based on certain conditions, and they are fighting amongst themselves to try to fulfill one or the other. Ultimately, I think whichever version you choose, the opposite team will harness the legend's power. So if you choose sword, the shield team will win, and then you have to get the sword legendary to counteract, neutralize, or defeat Team Shield, and vice versa. This is pretty much what we've come to expect with modern Pokemon. They will realize the error of their ways and will work together as offense and defense to rebuild the Galar region, bringing it into a glorious industrial revolution. Or they'll just apologize. I'd love to see in this fight we get more on that parallel story from ancient times, so we get more details on the Pokemon history and mature storyline that I crave so much. So, needless to say, I am stinking stoked for this game. It doesn't seem to do anything too crazy, too out of the box, but it is another Pokemon game, and I'm gonna love it. It's gonna take over my thoughts, the stream, my life, for the rest of my existence, or until 2020 when a new Pokemon game comes out. Sidebar, I hope we follow the formula of new game, let's go game, new game round 2, remake. Every year, we are constantly getting a stream of really mainline Pokemon games. Okay, maybe that's a lot, but there's a lot more content potential here than we've ever had. I cannot wait to see the legends, to see what the starters evolve into, but especially I cannot wait to see what direction the story is going to take. For me, that is such an important part, and I hope we get the biggest, craziest, wonderful Pokemon ever. In a less popular opinion, whenever we get a new generation, we also get some revamps to Pokemon Company International, the way that the TCG works and the competitive scene works. And I'm also just as excited for the video game as I am for this. I'd love to see stuff like online leagues be a thing so we can all play together and you all can get points and we can get actual merchandise from Pokemon like a local league. I would also love to see the TCG app be revamped and really actually useful, available on phones. You have the Switch. Put the Pokemon TCG app on the Switch, please. Please. And of course, the anime is going to get some stuff, but that's not as important to me. They're doing a lot with the movies, which is exciting. Side note, Detective Pikachu looks amazing. There's so much potential here. We're getting a brand new generation of Pokemon. That means a whole new slew of everything, and it's on the Switch. It's on a home console. I could keep talking forever, but regardless, we will just have to wait and see. Everyone, have a wonder-filled day. And as always, stay charged.